Hey guys, how's it going? So we're back with another video, and before you say anything, yes, my hair is up. I'm also not wearing pants, but now you know. Anyway, we have some stuff to talk about. I was checking my email today, and I saw an email from Fender, and it was Fender marketing the Classic Vibe. And I thought, I don't want to do this again. I've done this too many times lately. I don't want to do this again. The horse is beaten, the horse is dead, but I couldn't resist and I clicked the email. And what I saw, I already knew this, and so do you. This isn't new information. But it really made me realize just how bad Fender is being managed, because they don't know what the hell's going on anymore. They just don't. Let's go ahead and get right to it. So, this is the Classic Vibe series on Fender's website. And you already know about this guitar. This guitar is a meme. Okay? This guitar is a meme. And all the guitar groups that I'm in, the meme is, oh, but Classic Vibe. Oh, but my Classic Vibe. Oh, but have you tried a Classic Vibe? Oh, that guitar's nice, but have you heard of a Classic Vibe? It's a meme at this point. And while it is a meme, and while it is funny, it's also, there is some truth behind this. Okay? So, check it out. This guitar is $429.99. This is the 50s Strat Classic Vibe, or from $38.81 a month, or 0% APR with shop pay. This decision by Fender to do this crap, just, we're not going to talk about it again. We already talked about this in the last video. But what do you get for this price? You get a really, really nice guitar is what you get for $429.99. It's not lying about what it is. Look at that. It's crafted in Indonesia. It's got the greatest tuner design of all time, which is the slotted vintage tuners. It's got a really nice, like vintage style gloss. I don't usually like gloss on my guitar necks, but the gloss on these is really nice. Usually you're going to get a glossed headstock also, and there you can see the slotted tuners. You're going to get a vintage style string tree. You're going to get what looks like a wood truss plug. You're going to get a full thickness, full size body. You're going to get stamped saddles that say Squire. I love this guitar. This guitar is unapologetically what it is. This is a Squire in every way. I don't know if it's just me, but I can't get enough of the fact that they stamped the saddles as Squire, where normally you're going to get Fender stamped in there. It says Squire in there. See if we can see the trem block if it's full size. It's hard to tell in this picture. Squire on the neck plate. You got a skunk stripe. I mean, look at that, man. That's a hell of a guitar. And it's the 50s style. That's what a Strat should be. $429.99 brand new. You've got Fender designed Alnico pickups. Let's look at the specs. I don't know what a Niato body is. Do you? I want to look and see if the description explains what Niato means. I don't know. So if that's like a really light shit wood, then I take it back. But you've got Fender designed Alnico single coils. You've got some really nice colors, as we saw. You have the vintage style trim with the stamped saddles, which is really nice. 9.5-inch radius. That's kind of a bummer, but it does it follows the standard of today. It's just interesting that the 50s model is not going to have a 725. That's super disappointing, but it makes sense why, right? If you want a 725, you're going to have to spend more money, I guess. Fender being Fender. So that's the classic vibe for $429. But I thought you hated Fender, and you just said that Fender doesn't know what the hell they're doing. It's because I'm right. I'm going to show you why. $429.99. Okay? And for that $429.99, you get essentially a reproduction of a 50s Fender, including the vintage style tuners, the stamped saddles, and Alnico pickups. But then you have this bastard right here. We talked about this before. The standard Stratocaster. Now, we're not going to rip this guitar apart again like we did last time, but I am going to rip it apart as we compare it directly to the other one. Okay? So let's go point by point. This one has vintage style tuners. This one has regular sealed tuners. I'm going to call that one a tie because some people don't like the vintage style. Sure. Okay. Let's talk about the headstock. So this headstock design is horrendous. It looks fake. It looks like if I went to like Stringcraft or one of those websites and ordered a water slide and put it on a no-name neck. That's what this looks like to me. Really? You're going to have this black Fender Stratocaster in small letters. It looks terrible. It looks terrible. Compare that to this one. You got a gold, stylized, oversized Squire. These are made in the same place, by the way. Okay? So that's another point. That's a point that goes against the standard, in my opinion. Let's go to the next thing. The neck. The neck is a maple neck on this one. This one's also a maple neck, but here's where things start to fall apart a little bit for the standard. The standard is like this unstained, boring. Just look at that. I mean, okay, it looks like a Mexican neck from the 90s or early to mid 2000s, but made in the same factory. And for less money, you can get this neck. This one is cheaper, and it's stained better. It has a better gloss. It's a looker, but it costs less. This one costs more. It has an objectively worse headstock design with the logo and an objectively worse stain job on the guitar. That's terrible, man. That's terrible. Let's move down to the pickups. These pickups on the standard series are ceramic. This costs less money, and it has a 50s accurate Alnico set of pickups in it. This one costs $170 more and made in the same place with ceramic pickups. Probably the same ones you can buy for $8.99 on AliExpress. And then let's go to the trim. This trim is god-awful. Now, again, I'm not talking out my ass. We actually reviewed this guitar. And it's awful. But anyway, this has the 2-point trim that does not work very well. You could argue that the saddles are better, but honestly, this just looks like any old Wilkinson bridge that you can buy. And on this guy here, you're going to get your vintage stamped Squire saddles. You know what you're getting with this. I don't like them, but that's just me. All right? So what have we learned today, class? Fender thinks that we're stupid, and it doesn't understand its own market. I'm going to show you why. First of all, $429.99, objectively better guitar in every metric, in every single way. $599, objectively worse in multiple ways, but costs more money. You can't even say, but it's made in Mexico, because it's not. It's made in Indonesia. It's made in the same place. It costs more money. The only difference here that's an upgrade is that it has the Fender logo on it, and it might have a full-size block. But $15.99 from Amazon, and you can fix that yourself on the other one. Okay? Here's where things fall apart even more for Fender. If we look at the Player 2, I've pulled up the limited edition, but it's the same guitar. This one's got a modern C neck profile, 9.5-inch radius with rolled edges, and an actual rosewood or maple board. Let's compare apples to apples, and let's look at a maple one. So I'm going to pull, I don't know, this one up. Is there a maple one? There. No. No. I guess not. There we go, maple. Perfect. Now this one has a humbucker, so I've chosen poorly. Let's choose one that doesn't have a humbucker. This one right here. I chose a limited edition one again. That's a nice looking color though, isn't it? Jeez. All right. I think I know what I'm doing now. There we go. All right, apples to apples. So we've got 9.5-inch radius. We have the same kind of headstock logo as the Squire. And we've got better staining. It looks very, very similar to the Squire. You do have that 2-point trim. I guess some people like that. I want to see what kind of pickups we've got in this guitar, though, because that's going to matter here. Alnico. And vintage style tuners. But this one is $7.99. So you can see why Fender made this one. But here's what doesn't make sense. You have the entry-level one right here. And I say entry-level because this was the entry-level Fender before, right? And it's got all the specs you would want, except maybe the 2-point trim. I don't like that. Again, that's just me. It's got all the specs you might want, and they're charging $7.99 for this. For $4.29, you can buy the Squire version that has a vintage-style trim. So the only functional difference between these two is the body wood and the trim and where it was made. And you've got about a $370 difference in price. Fender decided that they were going to make something in between these two. And I don't understand why it was this. I can't. I keep talking about this because I can't believe it. I can't believe that this was their answer. What are we going to do, guys? We've got this, which is a meme because people like it so much. And we've got this that must not be selling very well because nobody's buying it. And why would you? You can buy a Mexican one for $400 used. That's better than this, or at least as good as this. And nobody's buying it. And nobody's buying our stuff, so we got to advertise our $72.21 a month for our $800 overpriced guitar. What's the answer? How about we make a shittier version of the one we already make, this one, but put Fender on the headstock and charge more money for it? I don't understand this at all. And the sad thing is, I think these are going to sell. When I say I don't understand, I'm saying I don't understand how Fender can forsake their heritage so easily. I understand from a business standpoint exactly what they're doing. These things are probably selling like crazy because people are like, oh, I can buy Fender for $5.99 brand new. I'm going to buy one. So many people are doing that. The word Squire rubs them the wrong way, and I understand that. I get it. I totally get it. If you're like, I don't want to play a Squire, I don't know about that. I get that. Okay? So you lose those people because they won't buy this no matter how good it is because it's a Squire. But then they go here and they say, oh, man, it's $799 for this. I don't want to pay that much. And for some reason, they don't want to buy used. So Fender said, well, we're losing that customer. I don't know why the answer is, let's make a Squire and put Fender on the headstock. Some of you might say, good, those people deserve it. They don't want to play a Squire that's objectively better. Let them waste their money on a guitar that's worse because it says Fender on the headstock. That makes me happy. But it sullies the brand, guys. That's what I'm getting at here. We talked about this already before, last week. We talked about how my 75 Mustang was the entry-level Fender of its day. Yes, I know the Bronco existed, Christian, but it was hard to find that in that year. It wasn't very common. the Mustang, for all intents and purposes, was the entry-level Fender at the time. It was still a Fender through and through. It was American. It was a Fender. It had features that it didn't need to have on a Fender. Today's Fender is making this $599 for something that is objectively worse than a classic vibe, costs more money. The only functional difference is that it says Fender on the headstock. And we didn't even talk about some of this stuff. Like if you look at the back, you don't have a stamped neck plate. You don't have a skunk stripe. I just don't understand how they think that this is okay to do. Look at that. Which of these from the back, if you didn't see this part on the back of the headstock, which of these would you assume is the Fender from these two pictures? Obviously, this says the word Squire on it. But one of these has got polish and one of these does not have polish. I mean, look at this. Compare these three, okay? So there's this one, and this one. I don't understand how the middle one is worse than this one. Why do these two look so remarkably similar, and this one looks like the bastard child? I don't understand. It comes down to the fact that they don't respect you, and they don't respect me, and they don't respect their heritage. And it's pathetic. And I'm sick of having to make these videos. But when they're sending out marketing emails for the Classic Vibe, talking about how they're great guitars, because they are great guitars, then there's no reason for this one to exist. And I really don't know what we're going to do about it. One thing I want to do before we end the video today is I want to talk to you about Epiphone again. Epiphone knows what they're doing, okay? They have released these tribute guitars. I'm tempted to buy one, to be honest with you, because I think they're really cool. I mean, look, they got binding. It is a bolt-on neck, so let's get that out of the way. And I believe the body is a little thinner. But these are really cool guitars. $299. If we want to hit that price point with Fender, let's go to Fender. Let's go to all electric guitars and let's sort it low to high and see what we can get for that price. So ignore the mini. All right, the Bullet is $199. Okay. Let's go here. Let's find the cheapest Epiphone because I went just low to high, right? $179. It's not really an Epiphone because it's got the 2 single coils. This is a cool guitar though. I really want one. It's a really cool guitar. So we're probably looking at like this one, the E1, $269. But you're getting 2 humbuckers, 4 controls, and just a more robust build than you are over this. That's not to mention something that, I'm sorry, but the finish on these Bullets is awful. Same with the Sonics. They're terrible out of the box. I have not had the same experience with any Epiphone that I've picked up. I just haven't. Some of you might have, but I just haven't. The fact of the matter is, you get to the bottom of the barrel here, and I don't understand how Fender is able to do some of this stuff right. Like the Mustang. They're able to get that pretty good, pretty right. This Affinity Jazzmaster, pretty cool. The Affinity Strat, pretty cool. And they're hitting that 250 to 300 range. I just don't know how they can lose their way so much. The players that matter are the ones that are getting serious about this. And those are the ones that you want to keep. And Fender's not doing the bare minimum. And it's really sad. For $599, if you go to Epiphone, you can get a Les Paul Classic. You could get a Gold Top for, I think, $699. And they're so much better. You're talking about a set neck. You're talking about pickups that are inspired by Gibson pickups. These aren't even inspired by Fender pickups. These are just like the crappiest ceramic pickups they could find. I mean, I challenge you. Go right now to the store. Go pick up a Epiphone inspired by Gibson 50s or 60s model, and then I want you to pick up one of these, and I want you to tell me which of them feels better. You'll be lying if you tell me the Fender feels better, because it doesn't. It's sad what Fender has allowed their brand to become. And honestly, I'm getting sick of talking about it. Hopefully this is the last one for a long time. So there you go. Yeah, I'm done. I can't do this anymore.